Matthew 5:48. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father which is in heaven is perfect. We now have the Mormon Man sharing with new converts to the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints his experience and knowledge on the special path to achieving this required mortal perfection. Here to simplify how this path is not so complicated is the Mormon Man.
Hi, welcome to my Mormon Man YouTube channel. I am Kendall, the Mormon Man. First of all, I want to remind you that this series of videos is especially for Mormons. You friends of the church will have a hard time to understand the doctrine that we'll be discussing. This video will be revealing what Joseph Smith taught about exaltation. If you're dead set against Joseph Smith being a prophet of God, then watching this will be a waste of your time. If you're open to learning more about Joseph Smith and the possibility of his being a prophet, then I recommend to you, if you still want to continue watching these videos, that you watch at least 3 videos in my Joseph Smith and the Bible series. And these 3 are the Restoration, the video called The Plan of Salvation, Post-Mortal Life, and the video called Exaltation. These videos will give you a good background for this series. And important as it is to understand the first chapter on Be Ye Therefore Perfect, this chapter is equally important for you to understand, if not more important actually. Joseph Smith taught, when you climb up a ladder, you must begin at the bottom and ascend step by step until you arrive at the top. And so it is with the principles of the gospel. You must begin with the first and go on until you learn all the principles of exaltation. But it will be a great while after you have passed through the veil before you will have learned them. It is my intention to reveal the different levels of spiritual progression as I understand them. It is important that each of us should strive to experience or achieve each level. These levels of spiritual growth are not set in stone or necessarily in the order that I will be presenting them. These spiritual planes will help you to understand what is expected of you to achieve a perfect knowledge of Jesus Christ here in this life. These steps may change according to your own relationship with God. Some steps may come before others. Some steps may come at the same time as others. There are a few examples in the scriptures that for some people, these steps may be passed over altogether. I place them in this order solely on the premise of my own understanding. Remember, I am not a prophet, I am not an apostle, a general authority, or your local bishop. I just want to be an additional guide in your spiritual growth. As part of the title of this book is A Path to Mortal Perfection, it is just that. It sheds light on only a few of the different ladders that we can take to achieve this mortal perfection. I am sure that there are perfect mortals in our church that can offer additional ladders to mortal perfection. I would love them to share them with me. I have actually learned of 4 different ladders, or what I think of as 4 different stairways to heaven. I grew up with Led Zeppelin and their song, Stairway to Heaven, and I love it. I know the song has nothing to do with achieving mortal perfection, but it rings true to my ears in reference to achieving mortal perfection. Throughout this series, I will use Joseph Smith's ladder and Stairway to Heaven interchangeably. They will both mean the same. These 4 different ladders can be standalone paths, but they can also be combined into one ladder or stairway. I have used them separately and several together. They all complement each other, and there are not any contradictions between them. The 4 ladders that I have discovered are 1. Christ's Sermon on the Mount. 2. The Apostle Peter's ladder. 3. The sanctification process. And 4. The 5 levels of spirituality. As I go through each of these principles of exaltation, your understanding combined with your own diligence, your own personal worthiness, prayer, and much fasting, will you discover your own path to moral perfection. Remember, this is a ladder or a stairway that we must climb. We do it at one rung or one step at a time. We won't be climbing this ladder or stairway all in one day or night. So let's learn patience. It's a virtue. Or maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. A very good reading that I recommend for this chapter is The 10 Blessings of the Priesthood by Bruce R. McConkie in October 1977 conference. If you like what you learned here, please press the like button. If you already haven't subscribed, please do so now so that you won't miss out on my future videos. In chapter 3, I will be presenting what Jesus Christ taught about becoming a spiritually complete person. I split the chapter into 2 videos. Chapter 3a will be on the Sermon on the Mount, the Beatitudes, and chapter 3b will be on the Sermon on the Mount, Jesus Christ's letter. For me, what I learned from the Sermon on the Mount gave me a whole new perspective on the Savior's commandment to be ye therefore perfect. I hope it will be for you too. Thanks for joining me, and until we meet again, thank you.
Be watching for the next chapter, where the Mormon Man will continue to explain how it's not so hard to achieve mortal perfection in this life, simplifying the complicated in so many ways. Stay tuned.